Hello and welcome to the Fenner Hall Podcast with Zach and Tom.
This is our first and probably last episode we ever record. Welcome to episode 1, Oh Wait, Guess We Live Here Now.
This week we are joined by the president of the most powerful residential hall on campus, Mesake,
The FRC's strategic genius and supreme commander of hall apparel, Lauren.
and the owner of Fenner's very own 3 Michelin star ground floor restaurant, Evan. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
So please guys, tell us a bit about yourselves and what you do for Fenner.
My name is Mesake. I'm a third-year law PBE student. I study a very, very unique degree. And I am the 2025 Resident Committee President.
And I am Lauren by his side. I use she, her pronouns. I'm my 3rd year studying criminology, and I'm Vice President. And as Zach and Tom said, merch is my game.
And I am Evan. I'm a 3rd year here at Fenner. I do a degree in the Warren, and in my spare time I like to study international relations. But yes, I am the canteen coordinator for 2025.
I guess our first question for you guys. In the spirit of OE, we just finished OE. In the spirit of OE, can you guys tell us maybe your favorite memory from your first year OE?
Well, I've mentioned it before and I'll mention it again, but Duck Duck Goose on Canberry Lawn. Every night we weren't going out, we were on Canberry playing Duck Duck Goose in a less than wholesome way. Yeah, that was definitely something that stuck with me.
I'd say a strong memory of mine, whether or not it's my favourite memory, was walking into the hall and noticing how many rangers there were. Obscene amount of
We haven't
fancy
been able to get rid of them either.
The good old 2023 Ranger photo that
Yeah,
we took
at
at
commencement goes crazy.
Still on my wall, it's iconic. You know, I don't have any outstanding memories. No, no, like nothing like is massive for me in my mind, apart from Duck Duck Goose, because that was a lot of fun. But sitting across from you, Zach, I'm remembering, we couldn't really go to the first bar night out in the city for assorted reasons. So we
But you can just say we were underage.
we were underage, so we had a great time instead, and the 2 of us went up Mount Ainslie.
Whoa, that's such a... Whoa.
Yeah.
That uncovered something deep.
Just revealed that memory for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So,
And do the 2 of you also remember Zach being the one that organised the massive Fenner first year group chat? Like he was the man.
The mastermind.
oh, that was...
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember going around being... finishing a conversation with, can I get your Instagram, to everyone I met in the privilege. How was your first year, Tom? 'Cause Tom, you're a year older now.
Yeah, I'm old, man. I'm 4th year. So my first year was at Bruce, so already kind of down in the dumps there. But I remember the most outstanding memory I had from first year was we were coming back one night about 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we were walking past the ducks on the way to Bruce, right? All the ducks that live on the field. And one of them had an injured leg and was hopping around and was bleeding a bit. And so I took it upon myself to try and catch it and take it to the vet, the 24-hour vet. And I remember it's a good representation of community in the sense that I walked back into Bruce, got 40 first years, all to get towels and boxes to try and catch this duck. We ran around for 45 minutes trying to catch an injured duck that could still fly, so it got away from us. But I think that's that was my most enjoyable moment in first year, I think.
I can't even imagine. Ducks just scare me, man. I always think about the walk to that path next to South Oval, getting chased by a colony of ducks. Crazy.
I guess kind of on that, what are your guys' lessons from first years? What did you learn as not just OE but first years in general that you're like, wow, I want to impart this wisdom upon other first years?
When I was giving tours in move-in day, I was trying to give as many helpful hints as possible. And my one helpful hint was always search through the bathroom and find the shower with the best water pressure before you go have a shower, and lock in on that one for the rest of the year.
I think on a similar note, my top Fenner Hall tip to stop embarrassing yourself is that when you're going out onto the terrace, the door with the lock where the handle is the door that opens. Never catch yourself awkwardly checking the doors again.
Fruity Lexia beats Chris Dry White.
That's him. Yeah. Words of wisdom.
Great advice.
Yeah. I think something I learned over the years, I think not just in first year, was to kind of not get stuck in Fenner.
And I'd like to say to anyone listening that this campus is beautiful, but there are so many beautiful areas adjacent to this campus.
Yeah.
And you can really, really do a lot of things nearby. And so if you get through your degree and you haven't been onto Black Mountain, just for a walk. Like
Arboretum for Sunset is
Arboretum
so
for Sunset.
beautiful.
Botanic Gardens has the like in the summer heat. They have a rainforest part. And it's got like the sprinklers, and you walk through on a hot day, and you get just the light sprinkling. It feels like you're in a rainforest.
Yeah. Canberra is blessed with like nature reserves between every suburb, so get out and explore it.
So we said earlier that all you guys this year you're in leadership roles, but last year you were also in either the same or different leadership roles. I'm just wondering, what kind of lessons or takeaways did you take from that you kind of implement here?
Well, I think so. Last year I was the treasurer, which is an interesting role because you don't do so much event planning, but you do a lot of behind the scenes money work. And so when it comes to now being the president, having a bit more say over where the money goes, rather than just sort of communicating and allocating that, it's interesting to know the processes behind it, know what poor Tom has to go through when someone needs like a $2 receipt from somewhere. And yeah, it's a good behind the scenes perspective, and also help me sort of relate to the staff and know about the university before I have to do that in a sort of more important role.
I think for mine it's a bit more fun than Mesake's. I was communications last year, which was what is now the combination. Now it's communications and media, but it was just communications. And so I was doing all the social media, but I think it's like the skills in like design and stuff that I grew last year helped me have a bit more fun with the merch this year, design something a bit more cool and trendy, I guess, if you think it's cool and trendy.
Yeah, you don't say long.
Yes. Stop it, Mesake. But yeah, I just got to like take those more like fun visual skills and apply them to the different elements of the VP role and just do VP but more pretty.
Yeah. And I was the canteen co-coordinator last year, so we were like two equals, myself and Amy, who's now moved out. And now I'm the canteen coordinator, and I have a very amazing team of three that work with me. On the organizational side, I think it was really great that I already had a lot of my spreadsheets set up, and I, the learning curve wasn't as steep in terms of making sure that the Warren functioned. But this year obviously presents some new challenges of managing a team and having bar open more often. So yeah, I'm looking forward to learning more and adapting to a new demographic. As I mentioned at the Heads Welcome, there's some differing alcohol preferences that we're adapting to. So yeah.
Does that change a lot between? Well, obviously, for the returners, the Warren changed a lot in terms of the aesthetic when we came back.
Yeah.
Why do you think like having a team of assistants is different? Like, what's the difference between having someone that's doing the admin side with you versus having a team of assistants?
We're doing different things. So just having the extra hands, like the three of them through the week before everyone moved in, they just went through and cleared everything and made it all really beautiful, as you can all see down there. And so when it was just the two of us trying to learn how to run a business essentially, that has like it's a massive operation, with probably around 50 grand annual turnover. Trying to get your head around that. Mesake's laughing because the FRC budget is bigger than that. I didn't have to learn that, but yeah, they've got all this extra time to do these amazing things with the space, and they've done so much with what we've had.
So what's the weirdest thing you guys have seen someone do in a lecture or a tutorial setting, or even at Fenner, if you want to jump into there, or university in general?
I think even just the other day in one of my classes, somebody came in about 3 minutes late to this lectorial with a couple people in front of him, and he felt the need to announce his presence to the room. He said, "Hello everybody, sorry I'm late, my name is blank. I'd fallen over on my skateboard on the way here." So he just admitted his own failings, unfortunately. And it was quite awkward because nobody really knew what to do or say, but his loud booming voice really filled the classroom.
Can't say I have a specific example. I feel like most of the tutorials I've been in, it's the classic nobody talks unless spoken to. Maybe my weirdest behavior in lectures is when I start to zone out, I do all my life admin. I may have been sitting in a lecture today, sending emails out to Nikita and, some Teams messages around. So yeah.
That's so,
I was saying to my friend who I was at the lecture with, I'm like, if you ever just want to do all your life admin, go to a random lecture that you don't actually have to pay attention to. I feel like it's such a good environment to get things done. Yeah. Like just the ambiance of someone talking at you. I don't know why.
I was in a lecture, an unnamed RM did like to watch Looney Tunes.
Okay.
If anyone's on North 8, I think you can probably figure out who that is. But it was very distracting because to sit behind someone who is watching what is essentially a silent cartoon in a torts lecture, you get very drawn into Tom and Jerry running around.
It's crazy. All right, I guess we'll cut to an ad now.
All right, guys, we're just going to cut to a quick ad break.
We'll see you guys soon, but here are some messages from the Fenner Hall community.
This podcast is brought to you by The Warren.
Keeping Fenner caffeinated since 2014.
Supplying the drinks since 2006.
Hi Fenner, I'm Neha, your events SRM, and I'm here to plug commencement. Our tickets are now live on Facebook. It's going to be run on the 6th of March, which is a Thursday, starting 7 p.m. We'll have a few drinks and some food beforehand on the terrace with everyone, get a photo, and walk over there. The event will end roughly around 11 p.m. And we'll have, band, dancing, food, everything you can imagine. And then if anybody requires equity tickets, please just email us at events.fenner@anu.edu.au and we'll be able to sort you out.
Do you have the post-O week blues? Looking for something fun to do? Bakey Cakey Clubby is here for you. Bakey Cakey Clubby is Fenner's fabulous baking club, a place where you can learn new skills, meet new people, and make sweet treats for both yourself and others. And the best part? It's free! Join now by scanning the QR code on the club's notice board or by searching Bakey Cakey Clubby on Facebook. That's BAKEYCAKEYCLUBBY, Bakey Cakey Clubby, for those who like to bake and cake.
Calling all green thumbers and garden lovers. Are you sick and tired of paying $3 for 3 plastic packaged leaves of your favourite herb from the supermarket? Well, head out to the Fenner Terrace today to harvest them from a delightfully abundant garden grown by Fenner Green. And while you're at it, join the Fenner Green Facebook page to get involved in the gardening and sustainability Fenergy.
IAC is on the rise this term after Fenner just secured our first win in trivia. What's to come is debating in week 3 from the 8th to the 10th of March and 40 hours of film in week 5. Keen to see you all get involved.
Hey guys, it's Ore here, your sports director for 2025. As I'm sure you all know because I've been super obnoxious on the social media, ISO has started. We have ISO volleyball, ISO disc and ISO touch. Trainings and games have also started, so get around it, come to games, it's going to be so awesome. I hope to see all of you guys on the pitch.
Welcome back everyone. I hope you enjoyed the break of yapping, I guess. Yeah. And I hope the listeners...
Hope the ads were interesting.
Yeah, hope the ads were interesting. Cool. So, now is our second segment, and this is the more, I guess, philosophical part of our podcast.
Don't touch me.
Unfair advantage.
I think we'll jump into it.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting question.
Brought from the audience.
Brought from the audience. Brought from the audience. Yeah, sorry. Is a university's primary function for research? We're going to go deeper into this. We just need a certain little answer to jump in.
I feel like you're setting us up for something here.
Yeah.
I say I don't think so. Okay. I think research as the main pursuit has other functions which come off it, such as learning. But I think if you just had researching, you wouldn't have students around, you wouldn't have sort of the discussion and debate and development that universities are famous for. And that's why we're all here. Like, most of us aren't here to do research. We're here to learn. So although the purpose and the driving factor could be research, we're here to have fun as well.
I think I feel a bit of a mix. Like, yes, there is, like, as somebody who does quite a researchy degree, very researchy, but I also think it's a place to develop yourself as a human being. Like, not only by, like, I think especially at ANU where we all live here, but, you grow so much not only through what you learn in class, in the classroom, but also what you learn socializing and challenging yourself, putting yourself out there every day.
Knowledge is so important. But what?
That's it.
But knowledge unshared is worthless.
Not if you know what, like,
philosophical question.
But doesn't knowledge, like, give you something in itself? Like, it doesn't, like, even if you don't share it, you'll still gain it.
Like,
it's
if you
not
knew
worthless.
all the sports game results, you could then bet on them without sharing them and make a lot of money. Anyway.
I don't know, guys. I was trying to be philosophical.
That was good. I think it was good.
Yeah. I just think, research is important, but universities should use that research and use the expertise they have to also help develop future generations. There are a lot of big problems in this world that need solving. And we're not going to do that if we don't bring future generations along with us.
I mean, that you could argue that the purpose of university is, in teaching other people, is to then get more research. So that ultimately the purpose is to use research to get more researchers and keep researching.
Do you think ANU, based on the previous question, is kind of going down a darker path where we're focusing too much on research, not enough on students? And I think part of this, I'm reflecting on the fact that in the residential division, the allocation for pastoral care got cut pretty heavy, which is emblematic of the fact that kind of students in general have been taking a back seat from the university's perspective. Do you think that the university is kind of taking a darker path? I know this is a loaded question, but kind of what are your thoughts?
I would definitely agree with parts of that. I think, as I've mentioned, there was a new directive for me in my role as canteen coordinator to raise prices by 10% more than it costs us, which I think compromises the core mission of what residential canteens should be, which is to be a place for community and a place where students we want cheap eats. So yeah, I definitely think that was maybe a decision made ignorant of what canteens have been in years gone by.
I think I can see it a lot in my degree. Like, class sizes being upped is like damaging to your learning as a student. Less assessments, or like less preferable assessments, like teachers admitting that this is not how they'd like to assess, but because assessments have to be cut, they are having to resort to different options. It means that you aren't getting the learning experience that you are paying so much money for, especially when you do something in the social sciences and you are funding everybody else's degrees. You feel quite ripped off.
Math degrees cost like less than $1,000 a semester.
It is shocking to me. I pay like $4,000 per course a semester.
Yeah.
And there's no way me sitting in 3 hours of class costs that much. Like, who am I paying? My teacher's not seeing that money. It's crazy. So,
yeah. You've got a tension between like what the university sort of mandate is and what actually makes the money. Like research and having good research facilities brings in a lot of accreditation and money, but then like the sort of the role that people see for them in society is very different to that. So I don't blame them for doing that, because that's what they need to stay afloat. That's what is ultimately the benefit of society to a point. But I think it does come at the expense of some of the other areas of the university. But I mean, given the financial situation, some of these choices have to be made.
I kind of really like that point. At the end of the day, the university is a business, right? Like, it does need to make money, and the research grants they get from the Australian government and elsewhere are huge, right? But it's from our perspective, I guess. I'm not speaking on behalf of you guys, but from a student's perspective, I guess it's hard knowing that, but also understanding as well that we have a worse or off experience than we had in previous years, because kind of the university is cutting our funding directly.
Just the incentive model is not set up to benefit students, because we don't bring in as much money as from
and it's hard to see our own contributions to the university in multiple fronts go up, but our returns diminishing.
Yeah, completely.
It's crazy.
Pretty sad.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, that was all a joke.
So, if you were back finishing school again, knowing what you know about ANU now, would you reapply?
I think in every universe I came to ANU.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I think it changed my life for so much that I grew up so much. I had to learn to stay afloat alone. I built my entire life here. I think it's the most wonderful, and I'm so grateful that I get to reflect on my life here and be like, I built this all on my own. This is this is not anybody else's creation. There's no credit to anybody else, but except for the work I put in. For me personally at least, I work and support myself with my job. So it's I do get to sit back and go, wow, I am proud of myself for the work I put in. I think that caused me to grow so much. And the opportunity to be in leadership here has been so wonderful. The friends I've made, I love Canberra, full stop, biggest Canberra supporter. So I think just in general, knowing all I know now, I would so reapply. It's been life-changing, and it just has made me so much a better, bigger person.
Definitely, I thought a lot of first years who are excited to sort of move away from home. That's been a big thing about it. You're a bit more independent. You're meeting all these young people in a space that is really unique, and it's a very fleeting time. A lot of third years have moved away, but in those sort of 2 years you had on campus, definitely made a lot of very important connections, and just having and the learning as well, I think, is also very valuable, especially the disciplines that ANU does really well. Coming down to learn them here has been very, very beneficial.
I'd say I was quite different when I made the decision. I wouldn't say I was moving away from home was the reason I did it. It was not a thing that a lot of people I knew had ever done, and I was quite naive about what the college experience meant. And I will be honest, I didn't do much research, and I picked Fenner out of a list. And if I could go back to that time in April of 2022 when I nominated Fenner when I was doing early entry, I would go back to myself and go, wow, that's the luckiest click you've ever done. Well done on that. I didn't fully commit to making the move down here until it was around Australia Day, I think, was when I actually committed to moving down here and starting a life in Canberra. And I'm so grateful that I've done that. I've grown so much. I've made so many friends. It is truly the most unique experience to live with 450 other people and with all of the challenges that brings. You become such a different person, but if I went back, I would go, well done, good job picking Fenner. I'm glad you moved away from that one called Lodge.
No shade.
And I would also then turn to my friends who were probably sitting around me and go, everybody, apply for this too. So really grateful to have moved here. Value it so much. I mean, hell, I now manage a bar, hello, and a cafe. Who let me do that? Who let me do that?
All right. Being conscious of time, yes, we will wrap it up with one quick question. You answer with one. We'll give you two options. Answer with one of them. So, is it better to die on your feet or live on your knees? One of them. Don't even explain.
Die on your feet.
I'm gonna say die on your feet.
Die on your feet.
Yes.
Shout out Peter Garrett and Midnight Oil.
Yes. Thank you so much, Evan, Mesake, and Lauren, for joining us for this very special first ever episode of the Fenner Podcast for 2025.
Yeah.
So,
thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, this was a delight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
What a wonderful day.
Woo.
Get excited, guys.
Woo.
Welcome to uni.